guys, it's Andy Jeff, and today we're over at one of my rental houses that I'm getting ready to put up for rent. So we're doing all of the stuff that we need to do beforehand for peace of mind. This sump pump, it's old enough it came over on the Mayflower. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace this sump pump with a full 1 horsepower rigid pump. It's the expensive stuff, but it's the good stuff. And we're gonna put a regular sump lid on it instead of whatever this duct tape and wire mess is, because wow, that's all I gotta say about that. Then after we're finished with that, we're gonna put on a water powered backup so that if the power goes out, as long as you have water pressure, we're not gonna flood this basement because there's a furnace, there's going to be a washer and dryer down here. You wanna protect your stuff. But the backup is going to be in another video. For this one only, I'm going to show you how to replace your sump pump. So let's get to it. Okay, let's go over a few of the tools you're going to need and supplies. We're going to need, I got 5 foot of 1.5 inch pipe. I've got some glue and some cleaner to be able to glue that together, a tape measure, a drill with a small drill bit, that is 5/32, a couple pairs of channel locks, a screwdriver 6 ways, great, a sawzall to be able to cut the pipe, a check valve. If you're replacing your sump pump, replace the check valve. This particular sump pump doesn't even have a check valve. I'm going to use a Fernco coupling to tie it together. This is all they look like. It's just a way to be able to service this pump again. Just by unscrewing, I won't have to cut and try to re-glue pipe. And then a male adapter. This is 1.5 inch, and this is actually what goes in to the sump pump, and you're obviously going to need a replacement sump pump. Hopefully you have a cover that is in better shape than that, but if you don't, go pick one of these up. I think this was like 10 bucks. So this is going to be a little bit bigger than what I need. However, it's going to look so much better than that. All right, the first part of this adventure is going to be the deconstruction of the current setup, which is fairly simple. For me, it's going to be a lot of taking a sawzall to stuff. But before you get started, make sure you don't do this during a rainstorm like I'm doing right now. It's like snowing and raining outside if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you get stuck and need to hire a professional, you're going to want to make sure your sump pump works, because this is the only way to get water out of this sweet, sweet basement, which leaks like a sieve. So let's get to it. All right, the first thing I'm going to do before I unplug anything is I'm going to lift the float up and try to get as much water out of the basin as possible. That's the sound we like to hear. All right, just in the sake of being fast, the first step is to remove all of this tape or whatever you've got that is holding on your wire. So go ahead and remove that. All right, now that the wire is free, we're gonna turn our attention to getting rid of whatever the heck this is. So this is just a hose from my furnace that runs over here. I cut it a little long when I replaced it because I'm actually going to have it drain down in the pit like that when it's finished. But let's go ahead and attempt to find a way to get this bad boy off here. This is like duct tape and wire. It looks like maybe a grill grate, I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and remove this because we don't need this negativity. It's even got grocery bags. God, this is nice. This is mint. You squint, it's mint. God, this is nice. I don't know why anybody'd ever want to replace this. Why do people do some of the things that they do? I will never know the answer to that. Clear out your sump pit from all the garbage that's in it. Hey, would you look at that? Seems like we've got a sump pit, and I think it's gonna work. All right, here's the top of the sump pump. I'm actually just gonna take my sawzall, run it right across the top here, just to cut it loose so we can get the old sump pump out. We'll do some actual measuring and stuff later, but make sure your ejection pump or pipe, your ejection pipe is supported. Mine is held up by some wire. I'm not sure if it's gonna hold it, but you don't want this getting ripped out of the wall. Look at all that nice water. Ooh, it smells too. Gotta love it. Got to love it. This is me regretting the choices I've made in life. Well, let's go ahead and finish this cut. All right, excellent. Oh, hey, look, our joint up top broke off. That's great. That's good stuff. Jeez. All right, we're gonna go ahead and unplug our sump pump. I also glued my joint back together, but hopefully that doesn't happen to you, so you don't need to know how that happened. Now we're just gonna go ahead and remove this old pump. Let's get it out of there so that we can get the new one set up and ready to go. Yoink. That's the good stuff right there. This is a good opportunity to take a look down in your sump pump and go ahead and just get any of that garbage out of there that you can. You know, I don't know who lived here before because I just bought this place, but this, I mean, this shouldn't be in a sump pit. You're not cleaning your teeth in there. And same thing with some of these nasty bottle caps. Ew. God, it smells great in there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get our sump pump set up for success. We're gonna take our male adapter, we're gonna take our pump, and it just screws right in the top there. I'll give you a close-up so you can see what I'm doing. All it is it just got threads, it just screws right into the top there. Just go ahead, screw it down. You don't have to latch this bad boy on there. You just want it tight so that it's not going to blow out of the threads. This is very sturdy, as you can see. All right, for the next portion of this adventure, we are putting on our check valve. Notice I cut this off super low. That was because I know I want the check valve about as low as I can get it outside of the pump. I ordered this check valve. This is a quiet check from Amazon. I love these. They make check valves in a bunch of different ways, but this is by far my favorite. I have great experience with them from when I plumbed. If you want this one, I'll leave a link below in the description. You want to make sure that your flow is in the right direction. So as you can see, that is the top. I don't know if you could actually read that, but this little guy, this plunger in here will push up, allow water out, but it won't allow it to come back down. The great thing about these is they just unscrew. So what I can do is go ahead and unscrew that. And then once it's unscrewed, we can prep our pipe. Just take all the burrs off of it. And this bad boy is just gonna slide and glue on just like that. So we're gonna need our glue and cleaner, and I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, so if you've never done this before, welcome to Handy Jeff's School of Plumbing. We've got our coupling. This is what is going to glue on right here. But we also got to make sure we are able to screw the actual check valve on. So put it on there, make sure it doesn't fall off, make sure the threads are facing the right direction. If you've never done this before, it is a two-step process. You've got cleaner or purple primer, depending on where you are. Don't use purple primer, just use the clear cleaner. And you just want to go around the pipe and inside your fitting. Generally, you do the fitting first. This is what the primer looks like, or clear cleaner. Then you take the glue. That's what this looks like. This is heavy duty glue from Odie. And we're gonna take it, go inside our fitting first, in and around our pipe. There was way too much glue on that, but that's okay. Then you push the two joints together and then twist a quarter of a turn. That gets rid of any air bubbles you might have. And then you just watch it, make sure it doesn't push off. This one, it's not going to. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this glue off because wow, we overdid it. But that's okay. PVC glue only takes a moment to harden up. So once you think it's pretty firm, we're gonna take our check valve. Once again, make sure the flow is in the right direction. That's what the inside looks like, in case you ever wanted to know. And that's from the side where the water is going to push. And it's gonna push that spring up, and it's gonna just catch it from going back down. And the reason we do this is so that the pipe itself isn't filled with a ton of water that doesn't drain and then drain back down and then fire your sump pump up again and then have to push it all the way back out. If you keep doing that, you're going to burn your sump pump up. We do not want to do that. All right, for right now, it's just hand tight. That's totally okay. Let's continue on with our replacement. All right, this bad boy is filled with a lot of junk. So hopefully you don't need to do this, but I went and got my shop vac and I'm gonna suck out some water and as much of this gunk as I can. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so there's the after and how far down it is. Sometimes your sump pump will sit on a block, sometimes it won't. It all depends on how your sump pump or sump pit is put together. So for this particular one, we're just going to go ahead, set our sump pump down here, and we'll wiggle it around to find a way where it will almost line up, where it looks like it will line up to the current pipe. That looks pretty good to me. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but we would like it to be because we can manipulate the pipe a little bit and we can manipulate the sump pump. Now, go grab your tape measure, and what we're going to do is we're going to measure markup to figure out how long of a piece we are going to need to fit between these two pieces of pipe. So between our male adapter that is in our sump pump and between our check valve. So makeup is right there. Hopefully you can see that there is a little ledge. The pipe will slide clear into there when it is ready. And it looks like makeup for me is going to be 20 3/4 inches. So we're going to go ahead, mark our pipe, and cut it. All right, for this portion, we've got something to mark with. It could be a marker, a pencil. We're going to go ahead, measure out our 20 3/4, and then mark it so that we can see it, where to cut it. That looks great to me. Then I'm also going to measure up let's do a 3-inch mark, and I'll explain why here in a second. So right here is our 3-inch mark. As you can see, it's not great because it was a pencil. And we're going to take a drill with that small drill bit, and we're just going to drill a hole through the pipe. Guys, it's Handy Jeff here, and I made a mistake. This should have been a 45-degree angle towards the cut, because that way the weep hole would spray downwards. Now you may wonder, why did we just put a hole in the pipe that's going to be pushing water out of our sump pit? This is called a weep hole, and we need it so that this pump doesn't airlock and just keep running and running and running and running to eventually burn out. So this weep hole will save that from happening. All right, so now we can go ahead and cut our pipe to the correct length. And when you cut something with a Sawzall, you have to deburr it. I don't know if you guys caught me doing that earlier, but clean the end of your pipe, because you don't want all that gunk going in to your sump pump. All right, it is time to complete the journey that we have been on. We will essentially close the circuit for our pump. All right, now that we have our piece of pipe with our weep hole drilled in it, realign yourself with where the weep hole is, because you want the weep hole down. And it's time to re-plumb the rest of our pipe here. So once again, cleaner. Normally you go into the joint first, like so. Even though I did that backwards, the glue is the main one that matters. Go ahead and do that. Get some glue on there. Shove that all the way down to makeup and give it a twist. Because remember, we want to get the air bubbles out of it. Then we are going to go ahead and take our sump pump end off and just do a nice little dry fit here. Make sure that it's going to fit. It sure is. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and glue this in together. So fitting around the pipe, and then glue in the fitting, go around the pipe, and go ahead, shove that down on there. And now what I like to do is go ahead and screw this pump on, or this on, because it does appear like we cut this just a hair short. So we want that on there as tight as we can get it. And now we wait for that to go ahead and set up. After it is set up, I'm going to take my pair of channel locks and just give it a nice little tighten on all of our joints here. For the check valve itself, we just want to make sure that it's good and tight and isn't going to leak. Then it's time to make some magic happen. All right, let's plug this bad boy in. This is going to be close. I might end up having to move this, extend it out a hair. Nope, looks like we're gonna be just perfect. That is going to hold the cord up. And now essentially we have completed the circuit. So we have to test it. All right, please bear the mess, but obviously this is a work in progress. What I've done is I've ran a hose from our laundry hookup. I'm just gonna go ahead and crank that bad boy on, and we're gonna fill this pit, make sure that this pump runs. Hey, would you look at that? It knocked on, the valve is open. It's spraying for and the quiet check closed. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, I think it's safe to say that this sump pump replacement has been completed, and we are ready for another video. I will see you in that video. This has been Handy Jeff. If you've got a little bit of value out of this, hit the like button. That pushes my channel to new heights. Comment down below. That also helps YouTube recommend this video, and I would be forever grateful. And subscribe if you want to learn how to fix your own stuff and become self-sustainable. This has been Handy Jeff. We'll see you in another video.